back to those weather headlines. If you're just popping on here, mostly dry through tomorrow. There's a very small chance of an isolated shower west of 65. We'll see that with the high-resolution weather model data here in just a second. Showers Sunday, and then a daily rain chance next week as we become more and more unsettled because of the jet stream throwing disturbances our way every day next week, pretty much. And again, today, though, looking nice out there. Got louder than life happening across the area. We have the last homestand of Bats baseball. There's a lot going on this weekend across the region. Good festival season, too. If you know of a festival in your area, your town, let us know. Drop it in the comments, and we'll get the word out about that as well. So upper 80s to near 90 today. We hit 90 yesterday, and it's a very light breeze across the area. And again, the Bats versus the Nashville Sounds at Slugger Field all weekend. It's their last home stand. So if you want some baseball, check it out before the season is over. And then Saturday evening, tomorrow evening, we've got temperatures in the 80s for the start of Lou City match versus the Las Vegas Lights. South wind at around 5 to 10. And then we also have some racing. Boogity, boogity, boogity. ARCA Menard Series, Kentucky in a Ford Dealers 200. I believe they got a race tonight, too. And then they got this big race tomorrow. So let's go racing on the legendary high banks there. That is just off to the west of Salem, Indiana. And you can also do a meet and greet with Will Kimmel right there on the right at Menards. He's going to be the racer there from Kimmel Racing. They're based out of Clarksville from 5 to 7 p.m. this evening at Menards. You can check them out. And you can see we got some stupid weather jokes on the way. We got a good morning from Vicki Berger up the road in Salem, Indiana. Cheers, Vicki. Thank you for tuning in here. Grandmother of the All-Star, Kennedy, volleyball player there. Multi-sport athlete. All right, here we go. Back to the weather jokes. All right, so these are perhaps not our best, but we'll go for it. What do you call a bear in the rain? A drizzly bear. This one's a little more fall related, I guess. Why did the tree giggle? It heard a corny joke. Acorn joke. This complicated forecast raises some serious questions. And we'll leave that right there as we move on to the weather history today. Look at this one. We haven't seen a weather history with something this far back. 1559. A powerful hurricane hit present-day Pensacola, Florida, as 7 Spanish expedition ships may have been destroyed, along with most of the Spanish settlement that had been established just a month earlier. It's crazy we got records that far back. 1955 hurricane made landfall at Morehead City, North Carolina. 16 inches of rain, and this is the third hurricane to cross eastern North Carolina in 6 weeks. It is the peak of hurricane season right now in September. 1983, Indianapolis, high temperatures reached 92. Is the 58th time temperatures reached 90 degrees in 1983, which set a city record for the most times in a year. In 2003, this is a weird one. Frog eggs rained in Berlin, Connecticut during a rain shower from Hurricane Isabel. Since frogs in Connecticut do not lay eggs so late in the year, scientists believe that the storm had carried the eggs from its landfall point in North Carolina more than 500 miles away. Oh, yeah, Beverly Haggis dropping in an event here. Have a good one, Beverly. Thanks for watching so far this morning. But we've got the concert in the park tonight in Borden, Indiana. Again, just a ton to do across the area. So here's your countdown. Autumn begins in just 3 days, Monday at 2:19 p.m. Average highs in the 60s just in 30 days. Halloween in 42, and the average first flurries in November in 57 days. Allergy report, I'm going to drop it a little bit with a rain chance on Sunday, but it's grass and weed pollen, ragweed across the area. You can see those yellow ragweed on the sides of the roads sometimes. And your forecast today for your Friday, September the 19th, up to near 90 degrees. So very warm again, but the humidity will stay low. A little toasty out there for louder than life in the afternoon, but feels great in the evening time. Your Friday night football, so we've got 80s to start off with, and then after sunset starting to move into the 70s, so it should be some pretty good football weather out there. I believe we got Floyd Central and Jeff, big matchup there. Silver Creek is at Scottsburg, I believe. And then Salem and Springs Valley. Providence at Charlestown, and West Wash and Paoli. So some good Southern Indiana matchups for football tonight. And tonight's forecast, 66 degrees, partly cloudy and mild, and just a light breeze. Our sunrise at 7:29. Hearing a lot of crickets out here this morning. I need to do a little bit of mowing today. A little bit of picking up, a little bit of choring as usual. Here's your Saturday forecast, September 20th. 60s out the door, 82 at noon. I think we'll see a little extra cloud cover developing tomorrow afternoon, and that isolated shower chance, I've got it at a 20% chance. There west of I-65 with a high of 89 degrees. We're coming up to 10:20, so we're going to start to look at the weather model data here for you. We'll look at it together and time out the rain chances on the way. The much needed rain chance. As if you weren't on earlier, we're talking about the county burn bans. We've got Jennings, Scott, Washington, Orange, and Du Bois counties under county burn bans here until we get that rain start to drop across the area. 7-day forecast. Look at the rain chances. We haven't seen something like this on a 7-day in weeks. So we've got that small chance tomorrow west of I-65, 40% chance of rain Sunday. I think we'll see some showers around Sunday morning, and then some occasional showers as these disturbances move through. Sometimes these disturbances can be kind of hard to time out. We're not talking about all-day washouts, but have the umbrella back out for next week. And with the rain chances and more cloud cover, we're dropping the temperatures a bit too. 84 Monday, right around 80 Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it looks like the kind of center of the upper level low pressure system could be on top of us Thursday, Friday. That would give us more cloud cover, some more light showers. And then we're dropping us down to the 70s, guys, back down to the 70s next Thursday and Friday with lows in the 50s. So there you go. That is a significant weather pattern change that we haven't seen around here in a while. So we are now up to 10:19, and that means it is time to start to fire up the weather models. And let me bring those up here for you. Let me take this away, add this up. And let me get one last swig here before we really dive deep into the weather models. I'm hearing I don't know if you got some oak trees around, but we got a lot of chestnut oaks back here, and they've been dropping a lot of acorns, I think, because how dry it has been. Mary Dale popping in the comments. Good morning. Looks like we might have some good rain by Sunday. Yeah, let's right on track there. So let's take a look and start to bring up the weather models. Desi, why are we whining, big girl? Why are we whining? It's all right. Okay. Desi's bored with the show. But this is the best part of the show. Desi, we're going to get to the weather models. So you see very quiet conditions across the region. The unsettled weather here is over the midsection of the United States. So what's going to happen is that is finally going to start to drift our direction. And so we'll start to pick up those rain chances with a more active jet stream across the region as well. All right, so here we go to the future radar, firing up the weather models here. Let's begin with the 48-hour high-resolution rapid refresh weather model, the HRRR weather model. This is today. The rain chances stay out to our west, and there are very small rain chances at that. So this is 6 p.m. today. There you see far western Kentucky might get a shower, but we are dry here today. Those showers out west begin to hit dry air and fall apart tonight, but we might see some high clouds from those decaying showers overnight tonight. All right, so I'm going to go into our Saturday afternoon. I'm going to jump ahead here to our September the 20th as we wait for some of this data to load. I'm going to go stop this at 4 p.m. It shows a very slight chance of a shower. There you can see a very slight chance. Even has a little bit of activity east of I-65. I think that's probably wrong, though. I think it's going to be hitting the dry air and not allowing for that to happen. When I bring up the dew point map, look at the dry air in place. So it's kind of interesting. You got this wall of dryness right here. So all of this in green is a little bit more humidity, and you have that water, H2O, to work with to produce some showers. And then you got this brick wall of dry air I-65 and east. So I think tomorrow, as we see maybe a couple of these pop-up showers west of I-65 tomorrow afternoon, really falling apart as they try to hit that dry air. That's not the case Sunday, though, as we'll start to see that moisture starting to slide our direction a bit more. We'll take this out to the very latest, the 48-hour. So we're starting to see a little bit of that moisture moving our direction here Sunday. So that'll start to increase our chance for rain. Let me bring up the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. And we'll go back to the reflectivity, which is just the rainfall. And we go here to tomorrow afternoon. This is the other weather model. Notice it shows that better rain chance out to our west tomorrow here at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Here's 7 o'clock. So the activity hits that dry air and falls apart near I-65 or even west of I-65. That's your Saturday map right there. So we look at a little bit of a broader view. Oops. So you can see all of that out west tomorrow afternoon. So the farther west you get tomorrow is the better chance for some rain. We get rid of that little drawing right there, and we'll move into Sunday, which is when we start to pick up a better rain chance across the area. Vicky saying, my neighbor's got a metal building, and the acorns drop on it all day. You know, my cabin up on the hill way back there, it also has a metal roof, and it can be pretty loud when they drop. All right, so I'm going in here to our Sunday morning with the NAM 3-kilometer weather model, and check that out, developing out to our west. Will it hold together? It looks like it may hold together for some morning shower potential. This is 10 a.m. on our Sunday morning. And that just got me thinking, it might be time. Go get him. Go get him, Annie. Nope. She's not going to go down the stairs. She's a 14-year-old border collie. She likes to yell at the turkey vultures that fly over. Annie girl. She's so old, it's got to be really something important for her to run down the stairs. All right. Good guard dogs there. All right, so here's your Sunday morning. This got me thinking, might be a good time to start putting out the seed because we're going to get a lot of rain chances next week. So if your yard is crispy, not looking great, full of weeds like mine here, it might be a good time to start thinking about putting out some grass seed, maybe some fertilizer, and get it looking good for the fall season. And maybe the mums will be in good shape too with a little bit of a cooler pattern with that rain next week. So there's our Sunday with those rain chances. So that takes us through the weekend. Now I want to fire up the GFS weather model. This is going to take us through many rain chances next week. And I'm going to take this to our Sunday. It also shows some of the rain chances moving through here Sunday. That is our last day of summer. It's our final summer weekend here, guys. And now I'm going to take us into fall as fall begins Monday. And check out the GFS weather model. This is at 5 p.m. Monday, showing a good chance of some scattered showers. Puppy dogs. What are you doing? They're very vocal this morning. All right, so this is a good chance of rain here for Monday evening. I'm just going to scroll through the week here. So it looks like we'll have kind of a stationary front set up over the region. I want to bring up the dew point map. So this might show, it shows the moisture that we have across the area. And if you were watching yesterday, eventually that Canadian air does win out, possibly by very late September, early October. We're going to look at that together here in just a second too. But for now, next week, that green means we have some moisture to work with. A little bit of humidity in the air. So I want to go back to the rainfall. This is going into our 23rd, our Tuesday. And notice it still has some active weather across the region for Tuesday. But notice there's space between. We're not talking about all-day washouts or anything like that, but occasional showers passing through. Not expecting severe weather with this either. We just don't have the ingredients for that. I'm going to take this into our Wednesday, the 24th. And it also has some rain across the area. As we get into Thursday, Friday, I think we're going to have the center of the low pressure system on top of us. What does that mean? Well, we've got this swirl right here, this upper level low pressure system. We talked about this in the spring several times. When you have an upper level low, it gets cut off from the jet stream. Sometimes you call it upper level low woes if you don't want the rainfall, but this is actually good for us. They just kind of get stuck over the area. So this will give us showery, cloudy conditions, maybe just highs in the 70s here. This is next Thursday, the 25th. So again, totally different weather pattern than we've had for weeks. Now we go into our Friday. Will it still be lingering? And it looks like it does. The GFS and the European weather model still have some light rain lingering next Friday as the system is slow to move out and then perhaps drying out for our first weekend of autumn. Of course, not this weekend. This is our last weekend of summer. The following weekend, that is looking at the 27th and 28th. All right. So that's the rainfall. Let's add up all the rainfall. The GFS and the Euro were kind of similar with the precipitation total. The total precipitation for next week through Friday. And Mary Dale is liking it. This is looking so good. Yeah, good to get the rain chances. I mean, this is way up from yesterday. These rainfall totals here. Let me slap some of these on here. We're querying the pixels. So there you go. This would be adding up all the rainfall day after day after day from Sunday through next Friday. Not sure if we'll get that much, but I think a good inch is going to be possible, maybe 2 inches in some areas. So that would put a huge dent in the drought conditions, get rid of the burn bans that we have across the area. Vicky Berger popping in with I've got a tulip tree and the leaves are falling from it. Yeah, same. Right back here, the ground is littered with leaves from the tulips. And also we got, I think, a birch trees back here that have dropped their leaves. So a lot of the poplars are almost done with. Our magnolia out front has dropped its leaves. Just the dry weather definitely took a toll on some of our less hardy trees. So there you go. That's a look at the wet pattern for next week. Let's look beyond that. And I think we might see a cool down beyond that. And the best way to see an easier way to see a weather pattern or a weather air mass change is looking at the moisture going away. That means the Canadian dry air is going to carve out and push out the moisture, and then it's going to bring in cooler conditions. So first, let's see if we can get that red to move in, and then we'll look at the temperature change beyond that. And that is going to take us to our long range outlook. I'll been on them. Here we go. So let's go. So this is the upper level low that's over us into next weekend. So yesterday was around, I think, the 29th or 30th when that Canadian air drops in over us. This is the 27th. So this would be not this Saturday, but next. Plop it on the temperatures showing 70s. So I've got 70s in the forecast next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I want to bring up the dew point back up. All right. And then we're going to move ahead to the 28th, which would be not this Sunday, next Sunday. So we don't see that big, huge push of Canadian air just yet. Going into Monday, the 29th. Not seeing much of a change. Going into Tuesday, the 30th. Not much of a change. Still have the green around the area. Dry air out west. Going into the 1st of October. Let's check out the temps here. It doesn't have much of a change. 70s, maybe 80s across the area. I start to see the cool air north there on our October the 1st. Let's see if we can get a change by October the 2nd. So now the models, that is a huge push of dry air. So when you're this far out, you could be a day or two on either side of when we get this big weather pattern change, but it's still showing right around the beginning of October. This is looks like a strong front. 1st of October. Watch this dry air punch in. That's really cool looking. And then you bring up the temperature, and yeah, that is a cool down. Look at those temperatures right there. So if you're wondering when, we're going to break out the flannels again. Back, maybe some sweater weather for the area. Right on time, kind of, as autumn, not autumn, I should say, October begins. So we'll just keep this in the back of our mind. When October 1st rolls around, October 2nd, we'll see if the good old GFS was correct about that. And this is heading into October 2nd. This would be the high temperatures, showing 60s in our area. And where's the summer weather? Down to our southwest. So this is October 2nd, guys. Will this happen? We'll just kind of wait and see. This is a couple weeks out.